Known as the cradle of civilization, Africa is home to a wide range of cultures, languages, and history. This mosaic of cultural diversity and history was brought to the United States through African immigrants who settled in their second home. According to the Pew Research Center, as of 2022, there are over 3 million African immigrants, representing 54 different countries, living in the United States. This African Heritage Month, I will introduce you to 5 African changemakers who are redefining culture and community by proudly showcasing their rich African traditions through their diverse professions, bringing the past to the present in a vibrant celebration of heritage and identity. African dance and music are a mesmerizing fusion of rhythm, storytelling, and community spirit, embodying centuries of tradition, expression, and joyous celebration. KaribFIT encapsulates the essence of African heritage and creativity, intertwining the vibrant hues of African traditions with graceful dance movements.
4, 3, 2, push it out.
Hailing from a multicultural family, founder and owner Neki Nete was determined to find a career path that would allow her to express the cultures she grew up embracing.
My mother with her Caribbean heritage and my father with his Ghanaian heritage, just combining that, our house was a cultural mixing pot, and it was beautiful. I was always involved in anything related to my culture, from dance events to carnivals to any type of cultural celebrations. Everything just helps to create who I am today.
Born and raised in Takoma Park, Neki was raised in a family that cherished their cultural heritage and embraced a healthy lifestyle.
It was kind of natural when I chose a profession that involved health and my love for dance.
And in 2015, Neki opened the doors to KaribFIT in Silver Spring with the goal to help her community stay fit while learning their culture.
There were no classes like this at all. There was nobody doing anything that was dance fitness related with using soca music, using the different genres of African music. When we aren't able to see ourselves as beacons of health, then it's important for us to be able to have a place that we can come and we can move, we can embrace our culture as well as incorporating health. All the movements that we do are centered and grounded in the cultural connections, the cultural dance styles that our ancestors did, things that were brought from Africa to the Caribbean and here in the States as well. It comes from the connection of our culture that has transcended generations. So many people, especially people of African descent, feel like their culture has been lost. They feel like things have been stripped away from them. So to be able to connect and regain what we thought may have been lost is so powerful.
African food and spices have always reflected the continent's rich culinary diversity and the use of unique herbs and seasonings that add depth and character to each dish. Ingeniously infusing Ethiopian culinary traditions with a modern flair, visionary business owner Tsiona has unlocked a new realm of flavors and dining experiences.
As you go, you start to think, the Mediterranean have pita, and then they turn it to pita chips. The Mexican have tortilla, they turn it to tortilla chips. The Chinese have the noodle, they turn it to noodle chips. The paratha, the Indian, the same thing. So why is it that our staple bread, which is injera, cannot be converted to chips? Yeah. So let me try it. This is how it's cut and dry. Injera, usually we eat it fresh, like the first day, and then that's it, right? So I say, this injera is okay, it's not bad. It doesn't go bad like for 4 days. Of course, it doesn't have preservatives. So I said I have to learn to do something about it. So during downtime in the restaurant, I started experimenting.
While still operating her Ethiopian restaurant in Rockville, Sihon got to work.
Washing the lentils.
This is an ethnic food. So I use the seasoning that we use for making our stew, our kitfo, our tips, and dorowet.
Sihon eventually added lentil and yellow split pea dips, stew mixes, and Berbere blend sauces to Tsiona food products.
Together with the injera crisp, I kind of came out like, we need something to eat it. So hummuses are made with chickpeas. So I said, our lentil is delicious. Why not, use the crisp with our lentil?
Tsiona Foods products are in many chain markets, like Whole Foods, Mom's Organic, Roadman's, and many others. And Sihon hopes to keep expanding their reach. Africans have also embraced the land, nurturing vibrant farms that produce the authentic flavors of their countries that their communities once longed for but could not find.
A lot of virtue and patience, you need that.
Tanya Doka-Spandhla predominantly cultivates crops native to South and West Africa, specifically vegetables that flourished in the backyard of her childhood home in Harare, Zimbabwe.
It's the best type of corn that we are used to bake in Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwean corn, also known as maize, is a staple crop of the country's agricultural and food culture.
This is the type of corn most people from Africa are used to. So it gets very popular with a lot of people. They start asking for it like in January when it's still cold. Once I started growing that and sharing with my friends and family, they enjoyed it and they would ask for more. So I found that to be a good business opportunity for myself to be able to expand.
She started her farm, Passion to Seed, in 2015 after she was matched with landowners through the Montgomery Countryside Alliance's Land Link program.
There was a new farmer program going on with the Office of Agriculture in conjunction with Montgomery Countryside Alliance. So I was matched to this landowner here. That made it much easier to start off from nowhere.
And it's not just any land.
Former slaves used to farm this piece of land. And for me to be able to come from Africa and be farming on the same piece of land, it's like a continuation of the historical background that lies on this piece of property.
Although thick kernel African-based corn is what she specializes in, Tanya also grows other popular African crops, like pumpkin leaves, which are used to make mubura, a traditional African dish, horned melons, also known as kiwano, mustard greens, and okra.
I decided to call it Passion to Seed Gardening because I found the passion within me to be able to want to do this.
Passion and work that is not easy, but meaningful. African educators have also passionately dedicated themselves to promoting African languages and history.
We're gonna do what we do first, reading.
Professor Piokush Leminyandu teaches his native language, isiZulu, a Southern Bantu language of the Nguni branch spoken in Southern Africa at Howard University.
I funded basically a huge chunk of my PhD studies through my language Zulu. So that got me curious. Why is Zulu becoming popular in America?
African languages hold the key to unlocking the intricate narratives, wisdom, and distinct perspectives that shape the vibrant mosaic of cultures across the continent.
This Zulu program here at Howard is the largest Zulu program outside of South Africa. There's a lot that can be said about the confidence of students in their self, in their ability to learn an African language, and they see this connecting to their career. Now let's repeat it with confidence. Go.
Professor Leminyandu's classes are special. They go beyond just teaching the language.
So when you're in Southern Africa, you most likely find a chameleon in an ubukwebezane bush, right? So the chameleon likes it. Culture is always part of any language learning. They need to fall in love with the culture or some aspect of the culture, and then the language follows. Even if they don't become fluent in an African language, they become culturally competent, and that's a huge difference maker in whatever career they are going into. This is how we create, keeping it simple. If it's complicated, it's most likely going to be wrong.
Building lasting bridges between the US and Africa, while equipping his students with the skills they need to cross them.
Zombie no go kill unless you tell them to kill.
A decade after the first production wrapped, Fela, the award-winning musical, is back on stage once again, and this time in Montgomery County at the Olney Theatre Center.
Everybody you say Ayakata.
The musical captures the electrifying spirit of Nigerian Afrobeat legend Fela Kuti, bringing his music and story to life.
And the second election all in Nigeria.
From his pioneering Afrobeat sound, fearless social activism, and unapologetic commitment to challenging political injustices, Fela Kuti is a legend for all of Africa.
Everybody say yeah, yeah. Yeah!
Sierra Leone-born actor Dwayne Richmond plays the role of Fela.
Zombie!
He had played the role on Broadway a decade prior.
It's always a blessing to step in front of people and on the stage and tell Fela's story, because it's such an inspiring story. I've been doing the concert, singing his music ever since, we stopped doing the Broadway production, but I've never actually told the full story. So to do it 10 years later and just allowing just the spirit of him to just take over, it's been exciting.
Co-produced by Roundhouse and Olney Theatre Center, the musical, set in 1978 in Lagos, Nigeria, is framed as Fela's farewell concert at the Africa Shrine, focusing more on Fela's music and dancing.
This production is a little bit more an ensemble piece. When I first did the show, the original Broadway production, the Fela character does a lot of speaking, but in this production, Fela is dancing.
Dwayne also noted that the enthusiastic audience in Montgomery County made performing live on stage every day a joyous experience.
I've spent a lot of time in DC, but never here in Montgomery County. This has been one of my favorite theaters to be at. The community here is just very, very, very engaging and just loving, and they really have embraced Fela.
Dwayne takes immense pride in his African heritage and uses his acting to depict his continent's stories.
As an African growing up in America, there was a time in my life where I didn't want to be from Africa. As I started to get older, it became, the most prized possession in my life. Like, I wouldn't change, being from the motherland for anything in the world. For me, if I can tell our story through theater, that's what I want to do.
While Dwayne continues to spread the African stories, the spirit of Fela Kuti will live on for generations to come.
Everybody say yeah, yeah.
From the rhythmic beats of dance and music to the tantalizing flavors of the African cuisine and the passion poured into educating African languages and history, these African changemakers have proven that heritage and identity can thrive in every corner of the world.